Has there ever been a situation that you were in where you've gotten confirmation of government's involvement with human-alien hybrids?
Yes.
Okay. From a credible source, you could say.
Yes.
They know about the hybrids.
Yes.
I mean, gun to your head right now, you would say absolutely.
Absolutely.
So, ex-CIA agent John Ramirez has come out on the Area 52 channel, which I recommend you check out, by the way, with some insane statements about the US being aware of hybrids between humans and aliens, and their DNA has been studied for decades, supposedly, right? So this is just insane, okay? I am really curious to know what you're going to think about this one, so stop the video at any point throughout and let me know, please. I would want to know that. Leave a like, interact with this video in any way, subscribe, notifications on, leave a like right now. Appreciate.
Yes.
They were able to collect DNA from aliens.
John Ramirez, former CIA officer, 25-year career.
CIA had a program
To trace this alien DNA.
in certain families, and particularly their children were of interest to CIA.
The CIA was tracking the activity.
So then does that mean that these kids with special abilities, special talents, like really smart stuff, you know, does that mean they have alien genetics? I mean, Jesus Christ. Are we as humans just doomed because if we are in any way extraordinary, then we must be in hybrid? Like how does this unfold, right?
Of hybrids, human-alien hybrids in the United States.
That and going back in their lineage.
In that 25 years,
Did you encounter anyone you knew for sure was read into one of the deeper programs?
Yes.
Did you have a lot of interactions with this person?
Yes, I did.
my name was submitted for that particular compartment.
And the Pentagon came back and said, no, we're not going to read John Ramirez into that. No way.
You specifically?
You specifically cannot be read in. He said, you don't understand, John. This program is the highest secret, top secret in the entire United States government. This top secret information exceeds that of Manhattan Project. His branch
Did operations under the sea, retrieving things.
Bob, one of my engineers, was looking at one of the manuals. It's that thick. And he left that on his desk. The title was UFO Propulsion Systems, Manual of Operations.
We were flying something that wasn't a satellite.
What did it look like?
It looked like an egg. I personally had only one, I would call bad, but not demonic, experience. And that experience was with a reptilian-like being that showed up in my condo when I lived in Washington, D.C. And the other, I can't identify because it was shrouded. It was wearing a cloak.
A hood.
A hood, yeah, a cloak and a hood. And they showed up one night and they just, I woke up and they go,
Oh, don't mind us. We just want to let you know that we know you moved.
and then I went to medical services.
I had something done here.
And can I get those records? I said, sorry.
Your medical records are classified. You cannot have them.
Okay.
Wait, they classified your own medical records?
Implants are real.
Yeah.
It's not a conspiracy theory, and hybrids are real. That's not a conspiracy theory.
Imagine that, right? You wake up in the middle of the night, there's just a motherfucking lizard, humanoid lizard in your living room telling you, hey, we know you moved, so just so you know, you're not safe even now. We're just here for whatever fucking reason, right? So there is a very real problem in the US where if a serviceman or anyone involved in the army or a special mission is injured and what was happening and what is being done is highly classified, they cannot even get their medical records and any sort of assistance, governmental assistance, because it is classified and they can't give a reason to why the benefits are needed because it is classified. It's a real messy thing, and hopefully it gets sorted out with some transparency real soon.
Gerald K. Haynes said 1 in 10 were UFOs. We have case files of real UFOs. The 1 in 10 sightings were actual UFOs.
That's a high number.
That's 10%.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so going back and thinking about, wow, the CIA knew that there was something up there that were real UFOs. And this is like more of the public side of CIA, it's still classified side of CIA, but not the program side of CIA.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. It's not deep.
It's not deep. It's just interesting information that you saw a UFO and that 10% of them couldn't be explained.
Yeah.
So the second part of that discussion was about beings, that there were aliens, there were actual aliens, and that they were able to collect DNA from aliens. And that's when they discovered, and this didn't happen in 47, happened later. Probably they had tissue samples or whatever that they've stored, and they were able to recover DNA. And when we discovered how to sequence the human genome, we sequenced the alien DNA, and we discovered that, there are markers in there that look very human. Human hybrids. That what looks like an alien for some reason, human genetic markers in their DNA, in the genome. And so I found that to be interesting. And to answer your question, that's when I thought, this sounds pretty classified to me.
This is coming from a CIA historian.
His CIA historian, yes.
Like, that comes with some weight behind it. This isn't going to a UFO conference and somebody like me going up there and talking about hybrids. This is an official CIA historian with background, with checked credentials, with clearances, telling a group of other individuals from universities, from different departments in the defense intelligence agencies about hybridization programs.
Right. And I would say this, I would preface that with, I don't think there were other members of the intelligence community there. I think there were only CIA officers and these postdoc folks that we sponsored.
So I wonder what Y-Files would think about this. He is very distrustful of anyone within that is being paid by the government, DOD, Pentagon, and then you got this guy, ex-CIA. What is ex-CIA? Is there even such a thing, right? One CIA, always CIA. Isn't that something they say? But yeah, he definitely would not trust this man. So it's up to you individually how much credibility you want to give this man. Take everything with a grain of salt, but it's fine to be curious, right?
The CIA had a program to trace this alien DNA in certain families in the United States. And he mentioned a particular region that this research occurred in the Northeast United States. He won't go any further than that. That certain families, and particularly their children, were of interest to CIA.
So the CIA was interested in potentially tracking the activity of hybrids, human alien hybrids in the United States.
That, and going back in their lineage as well.
In their lineage.
Right. And going back in their ancestry as well. I don't know how they collected this DNA.
Some motherfucking families be thinking they're just doing Ancestry, doing 23andMe, myancestry.com, and now they find, maybe one day their family finds out the lineage, that they were actually part of a black program that is tracking their lineage, and you just made it so fucking easy, right?
Has there ever been, and feel free to answer this with a one-word answer, has there ever been a situation that you were in where you've gotten confirmation of the government's involvement with human alien hybrids?
Yes.
Okay. and from a credible source, you could say.
Yes.
Okay. So they know about the hybrids.
Yes.
Okay. And you would, I mean, gun to your head right now, you would say absolutely.
Absolutely. Yes.
Wow.
Okay, so I would say his confidence definitely gives him like a credibility boost, but that might not even mean shit, because if you're paid enough, I would lie if I was paid enough. I'm joking, okay, I would never lie to you guys, but if I was this guy, for example, in this scenario, right, I would lie with the biggest fucking smile on my face. Goddamn, like imagine that, being paid to lie. Jesus, what a job, right? So I don't know, but he's really sure. But if Ross Coulthard says he's checked multiple sources, this backs up all the way, and he vouches for this all the way, I would take that much more serious, because I'm not too familiar with this guy, but I'm hoping to see more of him in the future. Character unlocked, right? Subscribe, notifications on, leave a like.
Is there anything else during that symposium that might have, caught your attention about the human hybrid program?
Not about that program itself, other than the fact of the interest and the further investigation into family lineages, that certain families tend to have a propensity for this hybridization to have occurred.
On behalf of the NHI, let's be clear here. Like, this hybridization that we're talking about isn't humans taking...
No, it's like maybe in their family's history, they were taken.
Right.
And then
their DNA
may have been somehow enhanced. I don't know what word to use.
Altered.
I'm speculating here.
Sure.
I admit this is speculation. I don't know how they do it. I'm not versed in anything to do with genetics. I'm not a scientist about genetics. I don't know. But it seems to have been a history of certain families having certain DNA of interest now to CIA because of the alien connection to that DNA.
So would we make the connection where James Fox recently told a story about how he saw a tall white who made telepathic contact with him immediately when they looked in each other's eyes? And this event was in Washington, D.C. And now this guy mentioning that some families that are like lawmakers, CIA, all this, have these hybrids in their blood. Like, what the fuck is going on? Is this a lead? Is this a story? Are we piecing it together? What's going on?
But do you think at any point before we get into this that you might have been led into some weird honey trap situation where they give you passage material? Do you think that because I know a lot of the audience is going to be like, oh, maybe this is a whole setup or something. Did that ever cross your mind? Did that ever
Never crossed my mind. Never
Okay.
crossed my mind. No.
Yeah. It didn't feel like that at all.
Mm-mm.
Okay.
Not at all. Because when there's passage material, we actually read into the passage material. And my explanation for that is this, that I was involved in some covert programs, and it required me to be overseas, undercover, with a different name, complete different biography, complete different history. I was sent overseas with actual documents. And I was told that if you're stopped, even by customs when you're coming back to the United States or the other customs of the foreign country you're going to, that we want you to have a cover story. You have to have a cover legend, and you can use these cover legends depending on the circumstance. So I was given the passage material to pass on. And also, I would say that because of the nature of that symposium, I discounted that completely because of who was there.
Understood.
Imagine that, going and having a life that is totally fake and manufactured, and then you have this cover job to make you look legitimate, right? And this sounds really familiar to our main man, Barber. You remember Barber, the guy with the big eyes, came out with the egg on News Nation, Jacob Barber, right? And he had a similar story where he was a helicopter repairman as his job, right? that he had to disclose. Is this like a similarity that we have to connect as well? You know, 3-letter agency paramilitary groups, right?
Question is, what convinced you the 2027 revelation had to be made public despite your background in secrecy? From Hobby.
Well, first of all, I didn't bring that up in the environment I talked about. It was a skiff.
Mm-hmm.
There were government officials there that brought it up. And I didn't give it much thought because 2027 was mostly talked about in the channeling community, and I don't really follow the channel community in any kind of depth.
Yeah, like Bashar recently talks about it a lot.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm surprised that they are talking about it. But that question did come up. That discussion came up. And I telling you what I told them is I have no idea.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. You should ask the channelers about it. Ask Chris Bledsoe. Ask Anjali Schultz. Any channeler, just talk to them. They seem to know something. I don't. But they press me for my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just an opinion, right? Of something that is out in social media.
Sure.
All right. So it's not secret
mm-hmm.
in any sense.
Yeah.
It's just a topic that's coming up in the public domain. So I gave them my opinion and said, well, I don't know, but what is your hope? What do you hope for in 2027? That kind of phrasing. So, well, my personal hope is that maybe they'll show up. I don't know. Maybe the NHI will show up in 2027. That's my hope. Let's just call it a year they show up. The arrival year, let's say. And let's say they do arrive. Well, wouldn't it behoove you guys in government to start disclosing what you guys know about the phenomenon now? And this is in 2022. 5 years from now, if they do show up, then people won't be like fearful or surprised or,
Yeah.
You won't have this catastrophic revelation coming forward. Prepare now, the people. Share all the information you can so that if the NHI, show up, then we are prepared for it. Because I told them, you guys don't control disclosure. They do. They can show up tomorrow.
Very true. That's a very good point.
So supposedly 2027 is the that everything's going down. We're going to have disclosure in full force. There's so many talks, so many whispers about this specific year. Let me know if you're excited. Do you think anything's going to happen? If anything does, I must say, I think that my 2027, apocalypse videos are going to do really fucking well. So, goddamn. And it's not over. Check this out.
I can tell you for sure, we will not be asking you about 2027 in 2028. So that you can take to the bank.
Hey, so in conclusion, thanks for watching. We're almost at 500 subs. We need quite a bit of more watch time. Put on the all playlist and let that play through. I'd appreciate you. And this video is over. I upload every day, and I'll see you tomorrow. And subscribe, you
fucking degenerate.
Coming on, it's coming on, it's coming on. Our future is coming on, it's